here we are. We are
Oh,
back.
we're back.
We are
Holy cow.
back with
Given
another live
today's
feed read.
topic, I really never get to hear the entry music. That's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, you heard the intro music that time?
Yeah, I got to hear the entry music.
Yeah, it worked.
All right. Either way, welcome back to another live edition of Live Feed Read. I'm Paul Reed, your host. The
Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson.
boy, I'll tell you, I've been on vacation, killed a few brain cells. I know Ryan stood in for us last
Yeah.
week, did a good job. But anyway, yes, the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, Jason Crawford, appearing live from Tallahassee in his new office.
Yeah. My
And
corner.
welcome back. Yeah, much needed vacation.
Good.
I went to St. Martin slash St. Barth down in the Caribbeans. It's a beautiful place,
Yeah.
beautiful water, relaxing. Like I said, did destroy a few billion brain cells while I was down there for a week with the kids. But it's glad to be back. I'm glad to be
Good.
back at work. When we were down there, evidently, if people have been kind of keeping up, I guess, on social media or otherwise, a few years ago, there was a horrific murder in Idaho,
Yeah.
college out there. They finally caught the individual. He pled recently to the murders of the four college kids, and in order to be spared the death penalty. So he gets life in prison,
Mm-hmm.
without parole. And as in Florida, well, let me go back. In a situation like this, we've all said, or at least us in our elder years, have said, and probably fathers have said, I'd like to get 15 minutes alone with the
Sure.
SOB so I can, enact my own justice on them and let them know how I feel and so
Right.
forth and so on. Well, obviously, that doesn't happen, and
Yep.
so over the years, the states and including Florida have come up with what's called a victim impact statement. Okay, so it's really your 15 minutes, so to speak, in the room with the defendant. Now, it's not 15 minutes. I use that as just kind of a,
Yeah. A
what we
lead in.
used to say, and then you would need a sentencing, you wouldn't need a trial, and this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no time limit. You can speak as long as you like.
Okay.
In the state of Florida, there's literally a constitutional amendment that was put in place. Article 1, Section 16, if you'd like to read it, put in place that says that victims or their families, if it's a murder, as is this case, have the right to basically confront the defendant and tell them how they feel.
Good.
All right.
Good.
And so I did some research, and then there's the Constitution, Florida, again, Article 1, Section 16, which is interesting. It starts out, it says, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall, and this is the tricky part, why they threw this in, upon demand, and I'll get back to that, be informed of the nature and the nature and cause of the accusation, shall be furnished a copy of the charges, shall have the right to have compulsory process for witnesses to confront at trial the adverse witnesses, to be heard in person by counsel or both, and to have a speedy and public trial in the county where the crime occurred. So here's the thing, upon demand. Well, how many people out there in TV land know
No.
that in order to exercise this constitutional right, you have to demand it?
Yeah. I guess you would only know if your lawyer tells you.
Yeah,
Like let's say you're having that conversation and you're fuming and venting
but
and
wait, hold on. You're the victim. You
yeah.
really don't have a lawyer. Remember, it's the state attorney's office prosecutes
Oh, you're
the
right.
crime, and the defendant has the lawyer.
Right.
Well, I
You're
don't think
right.
the defendant's lawyer is going to go to the victim and say, "Oh, by the way, have
Yeah.
you demanded your rights under Article 1,
Yeah.
Section 16
No, that's a
of the
good point.
Constitution?"
Yeah.
Right. And I don't
Valid.
think the prosecution is going to say, "Oh, by the way, you have the right to all of these, enunciated rights as because they really don't want to have to do all this.
Right. Now,
Obviously, it's more work.
is that because in my mind I was thinking, personal injury attorney, that's you. You're representing car accidents, someone died, and that's the situation, and this is that. Are these available in those situations, or is this just criminal?
Criminal prosecution.
Okay, understood. Yeah, so I had
Yeah.
my whole mind in a different courtroom.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
the section goes on to say, and there's protections. You have the right to due process, to be treated with fairness and respect, the right to be free from intimidation, harassment, abuse, on and on and on. But it's interesting how they put in the very first sentence, upon demand. So anyway,
Yeah.
if you're the victim and you've watched this podcast, and hopefully you're not, or you can
Right.
go back and pull up Article 1, Section 16, and you can read what your rights are. And if it was me, I would basically print out this 3-page section and put in a little written letter pursuant to Article 1, Section 16, rights of the accused. I demand all of the rights enunciated hereunder.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But anyway, so we have also a statute. There's also a Florida statute, 96001, and it gives the victim, the minor victim's parents, or the next of kin of a homicide, the right to submit a written or oral statement to be read to the court. Now, of course, written, you can submit something and the judge or the clerk of the court will read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming, obviously, that must happen sometimes. Some people just don't feel confident getting up in front of a group of people,
Sure.
which you'll see in a minute. Jason kind of put together another minute and 30 seconds of, I believe, one of the loved ones, family member, sister, brother, cousin. I think it's a sister. I think it could be her mother, but somebody gets up and lays into this guy. And the reason I know that, because on the way back from the island, Leanne, my daughter, had found this on social media, which was, and Jason will tell you, there were TV cameras in the courtroom, which is unusual as well. But this was a big case and made national news. So for whatever reason, they felt the need to put cameras in the courtroom, and he'll tell you the TV station and so forth. And this is an example of what you get to say, which was well. Jason, why don't you play it?
Yeah,
Put it up
sure.
there.
I think
Give,
before we do that, I think it's really important to these criminal situations. The parent or the victims that are left behind, nothing gets made better, right? The loss is there, and so oftentimes, and I think that's the reach of this, is that it's to give them closure of some kind and give them, like you said, that moment in the room with the accused. And yeah, so this one is very impactful, because if you had been following the Idaho,
I think it's as close to a punch in the face, as the victim or the loved one of a victim can get.
Yes, and you're definitely going to see that in this video. This is the Idaho murder case. So if you're
what TV station, just for
this is WMMTV. I think it was out of Michigan or something, but they had somehow captured one of the better video qualities of it out of the Idaho courtroom. And I'll just play the video when you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I never imagined having to speak to someone so devoid of humanity. I didn't think I'd find the words low enough to meet you where you are. But now I realize it's about what you've done to me, and I need you to hear it. When you murdered my daughter, Kaylee Jade Gonzalez, you didn't just take her life. You stole my peace. You've altered my every waking moment, every sleepless night, the way I view the world, people, safety, trust. It's all been changed by your cruelty. But for you, as a person working on a PhD in criminal justice, you really didn't think this one through. You're not that good. In fact, you're not that good at anything. You couldn't even get a female to look in your direction, all because you are pathetic. A dead killer doesn't kill again. So while I'm disappointed the firing squad won't get to take their shots at you, I'm confident that the men in prison will have their way with you in more ways than one. You will finally get what you wanted, physical touch. Just probably not how you were expecting it. You are officially the property of the state of Idaho, where your fellow inmates are anxiously awaiting your arrival. Hell will be waiting. Quick message from our youngest daughter. You may have received A's in high school and college, but you're going to be getting big D's in prison.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Wow.
then you don't get the Idaho firing squad.
Yeah. She
You
didn't
know,
mince
you're
words.
pathetic. You're gonna get the loving, touching, squeezing you from yeah. And that was
Yep.
just some. I think that was
That was
that
only
was
1 minute of a
yeah,
3-minute
30 seconds.
tirade.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
And there were
she
many,
went on.
a lot of people got up and gave their impact statements to this guy. And the kicker is, I've watched a couple just because Leanne on the plane was showing the guy, the murderer, not alleged, he convicted, he confessed. So he never does move. He
Never
never says
moves.
anything. He never looks down, never looks away. I would
Yep.
my guess would be, or sometimes uh, I'll bet the defendant might say something, react, laugh, and boy, really, that's when you see on some of these TV shows where they go over the podium and
Yeah. I've
charge
seen
the
those.
table. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he sits there
Yeah.
quietly and just kind of takes it and but you've seen those where I think someone
Disturbing.
smiles, laughs, says something, and then well, it's all over. But the bailiff's trying to tackle somebody.
Yeah, if you're, I don't know if you were watching closely enough, but if you're looking at his movement and you were talking about movement, I
Mhm.
had cut, that was like a 3-minute video, so I had
Right.
cut bits and pieces of it out to kind of get a
Uh,
concise version, but he doesn't move. I don't know if you
yeah.
noticed that. The
Oh
judge's
no.
head clipped over and moved at certain points, but like there were sections cut out, and that dude was literal ice, like ice, just still.
All day. He just sat there and stared straight ahead.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway,
Disturbing.
Florida has
Yeah.
literally in the Constitution, the victims have the right to do exactly this.
Yeah.
There's really not a time limit. The judge, like this judge did, he literally just sits there and listens. The bailiffs kind of, they bring in more. There's more than one bailiff, kind of making sure, all heck doesn't break loose during
Right.
these statements.
Yeah.
And then we have a statute that also state, same thing. They just kind of codify the constitutional rights. And it's funny because on number 11D, it says when it's talking about all the rights that victims have, it says, which is important, the provisions of this section apply throughout criminal and judicial processes, are self-executing, and do not require implementing legislation. And that's interesting. Self-executed means this. You have a constitutional amendment,
Hmm.
as is this. Self-executing means you get it. These are your rights, and you don't have to wait for the legislature to
Oh.
make a statute giving you these rights. Now, they did go ahead and codify this amendment in Florida statute sections 960, just to
Yeah.
be clear and kind of what you get and this, that, and the other. But basically, when they say self-executing, that means these
You
rights
got
are
it.
yours as soon as this is adopted.
It's
Right? And
yours. Yep.
so that's really interesting
That
that
is.
they put that in and saying, no, we're not going to wait for the government to give you these rights. They are yours.
Yeah.
Now they have changed. There's what's called Marcy's law, and there's this law and that law,
Yep.
and they kind of add things to this to make it clear what we're talking about. But these are the rights that are yours, and but on some of these, especially the section A, you got to demand it.
Yeah.
And so, if you're the victim of a crime, I would, like I said, I'd print out all of these, this section here, and I would say, dear state attorney, Mr. State Attorney, pursuant to Article 1, say, I demand the rights enunciated hereunder, and then you go from
And
there.
take it. What a hellish moment, though. And I know that it doesn't fix anything, but at least it's so firmly spelled out, right? Like in
Yeah.
Florida. It's so
Well, and
important.
again, there's nothing really to say. Again, I call it, I want my
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes alone with this character,
Right.
be it man or woman, whatever. But you
Everyone
don't
who's
get it.
experienced that loss
But I
does.
guess this is someone's idea of the next best thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
All right.
that's a
Well,
bit of a downer. Let's
well, it
transition
is.
into something.
It is. But we can't all be hunky
Yeah,
dory happiness. And then, like I said, it was on the
that's
plane
true.
when Leanne was looking at it. I'm like, I don't know that people really understand, because I got news for you. She didn't.
Yeah.
And then when
Interesting.
she was like, you can say this. I'm like, yeah, you can basically say anything you want,
Wow.
because that's what the law and the people that are running the criminals understand, that these people need to say something to the person that
Yeah.
has caused their life to be turned upside down.
Turned upside down.
Yeah, and so
Completely.
it's a good thing, because like you said, it's not going to bring your loved one back, but I think to some level, you can get what you want to say off your chest. And sometimes, like in a relationship, that matters. It
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel better. I at least got to tell this SOB how I feel,
Right.
and that can be therapeutic to some degree.
Right. Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
important to keep in mind for sure.
And and to be honest, I think there are victims out there that don't understand.
Yeah.
You have the right to do
I
this.
agree. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, he's going to plead guilty, and I disagree, but there's nothing I can do. Well, at least you can say, okay, but and this is before the judge reads the sentence, just so you'll know. So at this
Okay.
point, when they're all done, the judge says, pursuant to your plea agreement, I give you for death, for what life in prisons, no parole, this, that. So all this happens
Got you.
before the judge reads the sentence. Now, mind you, think about this. Let's say you don't really have a plea agreement. If he had gone to trial, right, the judge can sentence him to, well, not death, but that's different, but on some of the lesser charges, can sentence him for probation to 25 years to life, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you go in and you kind of tell the judge, because he's listening, so
Your
you're talking,
impact.
you're talking to the victim, but you tell the judge how this crime has affected your life. Well, he might not say, I was going to give you 3 years, but my God, man, you're getting 20 now because
Wow.
of what I just heard from these family members. You follow
Interesting.
me?
Yeah, the impact
Yeah.
statement can
So
carry that
you
weight.
may be able to sway the court to give a stiffer sentence
Hmm.
that they might not otherwise have done, because he don't feel your pain, or she doesn't feel your pain.
Interesting.
Yeah, so and if you just don't want to go and do it in person, at least send a letter, write
Mm-hmm.
it down,
Yeah.
and give it to the judge.
It's a good point.
All right. Well, anyway, that's all we have.
Yeah.
Jason and I will try to make it a little lighter next time, but it's just, sometimes, like my book says, it's the other side of the law.
Yeah.
And,
Sometimes.
and this is kind of, even though I don't do criminal law, I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting. It's certainly national news. I don't think everybody out there kind of realizes that what rights they have if they're the victim of a crime. And
Right.
hopefully we educated you a little bit today.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's awesome. I think it was very informative. I didn't know until you brought it up today, and I was scratching my head like, wow, I didn't realize that was an entitlement or a right. So it's fantastic.
And I
It's not
guarantee you,
a
most
fantastic
people didn't
moment, but
realize you get to lay into them.
yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Take it, take it. You
Yeah.
don't often get that. Take it.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right. So, Jason, go ahead and take us out. Here's the deal. It's Friday. It's
keep going, keep going.
Friday. go thank Jesus for everything you got, and God bless America. And that's about all I got. I'm kind of still recovering. I'm tired. It's going to take me a couple of days bye-bye.
Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family.